So recently in the news, we've seen one of Calgary's and possibly Alberta's largest Ponzi schemes unfold, where a licensed real estate agent allegedly defrauded at least 16 people out of nearly $2 million through fake investment deals. It's starting to seem that fraud appears to be everywhere. Now, in a 2023 study, it said that nearly 1 in 5 Canadians believe that it's acceptable to inflate one's income or employment details on a mortgage application. But the common advice to just ask friends for referrals, it just doesn't seem like it's enough protection in today's market. I'm Chamberlain, and our team here in Calgary has helped over 3,500 families navigate home purchases safely over the past 2 decades. And in 2024, we helped a family every 25 hours making a change with our guidance alone. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to protect yourself from the 5 most common real estate scams that are out there, and the one warning sign that matters more than all the background checks combined. Before we dive in, make sure to download our free guide on how to choose a realtor in the link in the description. Now, this is a free resource, and it's going to complement everything we're talking about here today. Did you know that the Real Estate Council of Alberta, or RECA, publishes reports and documentation of complaints against licensed professionals? Now, most people never even think to check these official resources. In there, you're gonna find reports and complaints against mortgage brokers, real estate agents, and property managers as well. So before working with any real estate professional here in Calgary or Alberta, you should verify their standings with RECA, check if they've ever had any complaints filed against them, and truthfully, this is your first line of defense against potential scammers. Because if they've had a complaint in the last 5 years, it's going to show up on this website. So if you head over to this website, to reca.ca, I have the link in the description, you can actually look at decisions and appeals. Now, I'm not going to show any names of anyone on here. That's not the point of this video. The whole point is for you to have resources so you can go and check and basically feel comfortable without just taking someone's advice on it, right? Or opinion on who they should work with. So in here, you can actually go in, search anyone's name, their last name, first name, combination. It has a few instructions on there, like basically O'Neill, if there's a comma, enter O'Neill, or O'Neill with no comma kind of idea. So anyways, but you can go in here and you are able to search agents, mortgage brokers, property managers, and see if there's been any complaints on there. And if you've had a really bad experience, this is where you want to go as well. If you need to make a RECA complaint, which we're going to talk about more in this video because we have some clients that actually need to do that, this is where they're going to go, is on this website. So let me break down the 5 most common real estate scams that you need to be aware of to protect yourself and your family if you're planning on buying any property in the coming years. So the first one is document falsification scams. Now, this includes mortgage fraud, where people falsify documents like pay stubs, employment letters, bank statements, and down payment information. A lot of times they are basically inflating their incomes, adjusting what their employment looks like on paper to basically be able to afford the property. Now, according to Equifax, it is showing that mortgage fraud rates have decreased significantly year over year from 0.46% in Q4 of 23 down to 0.19% in Q4 of 2024. Now, this is good. That's tightened up, and that's a great thing. Now, despite this positive trend, falsified financial documents such as bank statements, down payment information, they remain a significant component of mortgage fraud, like literally over 90%. So a majority of mortgage fraud that happens is because of falsified documents. So one thing they say in here, just because it's dropped doesn't mean it's going to stay low. And what it says is this decline in fraud rates might be temporary. As interest rates gradually decrease, a potential surge in first-time buyers in 25 or 26 could lead to increased fraudulent activity in mortgage applications. Consumers may misrepresent their financial information in an attempt to secure the best possible rates. So over 95% of fraudulent mortgage applications are misrepresentations of your financial information. So the big thing here is don't bite off more than you can chew. just because it's going to be a better deal or you're going to get a bigger house or something is going to be better for you, it might not be, because you have to falsify your information. And if you are working with someone who says that it's not a big deal, that is a massive red flag that you need to be aware of, and that person cannot be trusted when moving forward with your purchase. While regulatory bodies like RICA give you all the official track record, I've noticed that most people who get caught in these schemes missed a crucial warning sign that was right in front of them. When we have unaffordability being a major concern, or we have prices rapidly increasing, some licensed agents and brokers may be willing to forge documents for you. We don't really have, prices rapidly increasing right now, but unaffordability, it still is a major concern. So these individuals, brokers, agents, lawyers that can sense your desperation to get a deal done at any cost and know you're simply willing to sign anything because you're going to be able to get what you want even though you truly can't afford it, or you're trying to buy something bigger and it's just not worth it, right? For them, man, it's an easy paycheck that wouldn't have happened otherwise. If you ever have someone say to you that you can just make up your income numbers and the bank's going to approve it, run, please. You're the one who's going to get caught in the fraud. As my daughters get older, I want them to know that they need to trust their gut more and more. Being in a household full of women, I'm the only guy there, I can tell you that they have a keen sense of when someone is off. Way quicker and way more usually than I do. So trust that gut feeling that you have, or trust your partners or someone else in your life who has like a really good gut feeling when it comes to sensing if something is off while you're trying to purchase a property. Be aware of the pressures of the market that you're in. Now, just because most of the market is flat or decreasing, there are going to be pockets of the market that are actually really, really tight. This morning on our huddles for our team, there was talks that, we sold our listing within the first, weekend, and it was multiple offers. So these things are still happening in our city. So be aware of the pressures of the market that you're in. Check references on the people that you're working with. Look up their name online, see what comes up in the news, but overall spend time with them through video like this or in person. Get a sense of who they are. How do they advise? What is their value system? And do the words they use match up with yours? But ask yourself, do you genuinely like this person or this real estate group, mortgage group, lawyer group that you're going to engage with? Now, the second fraud I want to talk about is tied with identity theft and some misrepresentation around it. Now, in this category, this also includes straw buyer schemes. You may have heard of this and you may not have. Well, this is where someone with good credit is convinced to buy a home for another person who can't qualify for a mortgage. It also includes title or deed fraud, where criminals steal your identity and transfer the title of your property to themselves. Then they take out a mortgage on your home, or they sell it without your knowledge at all. Now, I haven't seen this happen. I've seen it in news, I've seen other things happen, but I've never seen it in person. Now, a straw buyer, that is something that we could see more and more as our market kind of progresses into the future. So RICA has a really great resource and example of how a straw buyer basically works, right? So the straw buyer mortgage fraud, how the scam works. So we have a buyer that purchases a property, basically sells it to someone else for more without the original seller knowing. The lawyer is in on it as well, and they are making money in the process. Like, the seller is kind of out. They sold the property, and I don't know if there's going to be much recourse on their part, because what's happened is this buyer, the fraud buyer, basically purchased it twice through somebody else, and now their name is on title of the property, even though there's basically another mortgage on it, and the straw buyer is going to have to pay that back, and they're getting scammed. Now, this can happen. So if you are thinking you're going to make a quick $10,000 because you have great credit, or $5,000 because you have great credit, and this guy has this plan of saying, hey, here's what we can do, I can pay you $5,000 for this, please be aware. This is a massive scam that has happened quite a bit. So it's not just outright fraud that you should be wary of, it's also legitimate documents that put you in a bind based on specific situations. Now, the caveat here is read what you sign, okay? We recently had a situation where a buyer of ours worked with a mortgage broker, not one that was associated with our team. They had them sign a document with fine print stating that if they got to a certain point in their mortgage approval process, a point where buyers typically can change their mind, walk away from the deal, change whatever they need to, right? This is very normal in the mortgage world. The broker would actually charge them a percentage of their mortgage amount as their fee. This fee was actually potentially greater than what they would have actually made on the transaction itself. So please, if you're signing documents, even with our team, read thoroughly through them and ensure that you are comfortable with what you are signing. If it's just you signing and your wife hasn't seen it, share it, both read it, please. This is something really, really important, and understand, basically, it's not just how you're getting into bed with the person, but how do you get out as well? What does that process look like? Because that's really, really important, and that should be laid out super clear for you before you proceed with signing anything. So let me share 3 more types of scams with you that you need to be aware of. So another one is property and appraisal manipulation. Now, properties are bought and quickly sold at inflated prices using fake appraisals, often with the help of complicit professionals. Now, this creates artificial market values and can leave buyers with overpriced properties worth far less than what they actually paid. Another one is listing and rental scams. These are false listings, right? If you were in the process of actually renting a property or you're buying a property, sometimes it has been seen that fake landlords or agents advertise properties they don't own, or they're advertising properties and they're not actually a licensed agent and there is no brokerage attached to them. They'll collect deposits and then they disappear. This category also includes bait and switch tactics, where the property shown online is very different from what's actually available. So another one is predatory lending and investment schemes. This includes hard money lending scams where unlicensed private lenders offer quick loans with high fees. Then they disappear with your application fee or use a predatory term to seize your property. It also covers fake investment opportunities where you're promised unrealistic returns, or like returns that could happen really, really quickly. Not just the amount, but the time frame, often in supposedly exclusive real estate deals. If you're looking at getting into quick investments with higher than normal returns, just be aware. Money isn't made quickly. Money is made over time and with consistency. So do your due diligence, and please do not put all of your money into something like this because you're desperate and you're hoping for a quick return. A 2023 survey found that 47% of Canadians believe mortgage fraud is common, and 17 to 18% of those answered that it felt it was acceptable to inflate income or employment details on a mortgage application. So, fraud, scams, adjusting your income on your application, it is out there. So here are the quick tips on how to protect yourself. Make sure you verify all parties. Only deal with licensed professionals that you trust and you have vetted. Check all your documents. Scrutinize appraisals, titles, financial statements for inconsistencies or things that just don't line up, which I guess is an inconsistency. Monitor your property title. Check your property's title for unauthorized changes, things that you never put on there. It's just something to be aware of as a homeowner. Be really aware of high pressure tactics. Be wary of anyone pushing you to act quickly or offering deals that sound just basically too good to be true. Never pay upfront fees for foreclosure relief or similar services. Most legitimate real estate professionals get paid by commissions and don't need your fees up front. Listen to your agent that you've also vetted for professionals that they trust, because it's actually better when we work with people that we trust because we have a great relationship with them. And if things go sideways, we're able to actually have good communication lines, where if it's not, it can be really, really tough. And ultimately, if you have suspicious activity that you have seen or a part of or have been around, like our client has recently, if you need to, contact police, your lender, and RECA. Make a complaint against them if there is any suspected fraud. Don't be afraid to report anybody, please. Remember, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Remember, we have the link in the description on how to hire a realtor with some great questions and some great guidance furthering to this video. But we also have this video up here, so check that out and we'll see you over there.